Hey guys, it's me back with my YouTube video, and what we're doing today is I'm just going to do a movie review on Infinity Pool. So yeah, this movie is going to have spoilers, so if you've not seen this and are planning on it, then I will step off, watch it, and then come back. Best social medias are right here, and let's just get started.
I don't understand why we're doing this. We barely know these people.
It's one day. Let's mix things up a bit.
You're just happy you found your fan club.
I've been waiting 6 years for your second book. Is it coming out soon?
I'm working on it.
What do you do for money then?
You married rich.
I actually came here looking for inspiration.
Mr. James Foster, you'll have to come with us.
Here, the punishment for any crime committed is death.
What did you say?
But for a significant sum, we'll build a double to send in for your execution.
Double.
Looks just like her.
Maybe think of it as a gift. It's like a new skin working into place. For you to complete your transformation.
This is just a little game.
But I can take some blood. Show me how strong you are.
It's really disgusting. You could just sit there and watch it happen.
You know, James, do you worry they got the wrong man?
Okay, so this movie came out on January 27th, 2023, so it's new 2023 release. It stars Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård, which, if you guys don't know, I'm guessing is Bill Skarsgård, aka Pennywise, is related to him, probably brother, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Mia Goth, that's like the reason I watched this. Like, I love her. She did freaking awesome in this movie, so yeah. But let's get to the plot. Guided by a seductive and mysterious woman, a couple on vacation venture outside the resort grounds and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, Hinduism, and untold horror. A tragic accident soon leaves them facing a zero tolerance policy for crime. Either you'll be executed, or if you're rich enough to afford it, you can watch yourself die instead. So I think this is a really cool aspect on being rich and everything, and non-rich people. That's one thing. So the guy, I'm sure his name is James. It's a writer, and he wrote one book, and then it's 6 years later or whatever, and he wants to write another book but doesn't have any inspiration. So he's in this fictional foreign land, I guess, to find inspiration. But then he meets Mia Goth, who is Gabby. She's like, oh my gosh, I love you, I love your book. Can I take you out to dinner and meet my husband? So him, and the wife, and Mia and her husband go out to eat. And the next day they decide to hang out. And they have a really good time. And there is a sex scene. Not really. He's peeing and then she comes behind him and basically starts, And I feel like that is, there's a lot of sex and nude scenes in this. And that is the one thing I don't like. So I feel like it could have done without it, or it didn't have to be as bad. It didn't have to be as long, I guess. But yeah. But then what happens is I think they're drunk and they're driving. I think the headlights weren't working, and he accidentally hits someone. And then Gabby and the husband go back to the resort, we'll handle it, you're fine. And I'm not gonna talk about this whole movie. I'm just talking about the beginning. But then they wake up and it's the police are there. and then get extorted to his priest, basically tell them you're punished by death, but if you pay us this much money, then we can make a clone of you, and that clone can basically be executed instead. And I think it is really interesting, like, either die or pay to live. And I feel like, I guess, it has like a whole thing on it, which I'll talk about later. And then they do it, and he dies. And like the whole scene of him like in it was really weird, and it has like all this like visual stuff in it. So like if you're like photo, whatever the word is, and can't deal with like vision, whatever, like if you have seizures or stuff like that, I wouldn't watch it because there's like a lot of stuff like that. And then what happens is the wife gets mad at him because it's sick that you could just let that happen. But then I'm thinking is, would you rather him die? Like, that's what would have happened. Like, as there, I'm kind of like, you either die or you pay to have like your other random clone die for you. So she didn't even marry. She's like, well, that's sick. How could you do that? Like, blah, blah, blah. I hate you or whatever. And the thing I'm thinking is, so you'd rather your husband die. Like, that's what I thought. And I didn't like her. She just was really annoying. It's gonna sound really rude. And I looked at pictures of her, and she's like beyond pretty, so I think it's just in this movie. But the girl needs to lay off the lip injections. I'm sorry, this is rude, but I'm just saying, like, she looks like a Bratz doll, and I feel bad saying that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just in this movie it looked bad. When you see like other pictures of her, she does look fine, and she's just a very pretty girl. I'm just saying, like, in this movie, she looked like a Bratz doll. That's all I have to say. But yeah, so then he like hangs out with like a group of friends that also were like got to like get clones. There's like rich people, and they get on like this thing, and they basically they do like drugs. And there's like this one scene where like they go to like I think the mayor's house, find like this medal, and then it's like they live like crazy and weird, and then basically like do this horrible like they kill, like I think they shoot these people or like terrorize them. They were like these masks, which I thought the masks were really cool, and I thought like they were gonna be more than just, I don't know, like I thought they were really cool, the masks they were wearing. But then it kind of gets like, oh, we can do whatever we want, and I'm just gonna pay to live. So that's when it was like there's like a line. And what I forgot to say is they did try to leave the day after. Like James and his wife did try to leave like that morning or whatever, like after like it happened. But he couldn't find his passport, and she's over here like screaming at him, and I'm like, it's not his fault he can't find the passport. Like, what do you want him to do? And he told her, like, if you want to leave without me, that's fine. I'll stay here until I can find my passport or get it fixed. But she's like yelling at him, and I just think she's just scared. But it's not his fault he can't find it. I didn't like her. When she finally just left, I was like, thank God I don't deal with her anymore, because I did not like her. But yeah, I think it was a lot. It was very slow. It did have moments where it was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. But then when again, it being slow. And it's like a very, very weird movie. A lot of sex. It was like this really long scene. And it definitely was like a 5-some or whatever. But I don't know. I think Mia Goth looked absolutely freaking beautiful. And like everything she was wearing. I love her better as blonde than brunette. Whatever. I think this was an interesting movie, and it did have a thing on, like, where are your morals? Like, are you not gonna do bad stuff because you're afraid of what's gonna happen, or because you have morals and you don't think that it's right? And it kind of is, like, so I think it did have, like, good stuff on that. And then they play, like, a prank on him, I guess. They have him, like, beating up this guy, I think it's, like, the mayor or the detective, but it actually is the clone of him. So, like, then he's like, I'm leaving. Like, I don't know how, but I guess he hid his passport underneath, like, the toilet or whatever. He was trying to leave, and I thought he was. But then they were all in this car, and she basically was, like, shooting him. And Mia Goth was freaking crazy. Reminded me of, like, Pearl, because of how crazy she was. And it was weird. And, like, as, like, he gets off the bus, and then she basically was, like, following him with a gun, like, on the car, and basically saying that she never read his book. Like, she just looked him up online, saw he was coming there, and basically has planted all this stuff just to have some fun, I guess. And like they were planning on getting him in trouble, but he ended up screwing up and killing that person. So I thought that was interesting that she never actually read the book. Also, I'm gonna say I love Mia's voice. Like, I thought it was just because, like, the character she was playing, but I love her voice. Like, I don't know, it's awesome. And then it gets into this weird thing, and, like, the person, or, like, he ends up getting, like, shot, so he, like, there's, like, poor people help him, but then, like, they end up coming outside, and they basically have him, like, just put, like, a clone that had him beat up. It's, like, a dog, so he has to, like, kill it, and at first he's like, no, I'm not gonna kill it, like, what's wrong with you? But then he has to, because it gets, like, attacking him. And then this really weird scene happens, where he's crying, okay, and she's, like, comforting him, and then he's basically sucks her boob, basically breastfeeds off her. That was so freaking weird, and I was like, what the heck is this movie? Like, I feel like it didn't need that stuff. The movie would have been just fine if it had less sex scenes, less nudity, and it just felt like it was dragged on, honestly. And I did think it was a really interesting movie, but I just think it could have been better, and my expectations were like shot down. But like, I just read the synopsis. I didn't even watch the trailer, but it's just, I don't know, it just wasn't, it was okay. I think it was good. I don't think I'd watch it again, but I mean, it had Mia Goth in it, which I'm guessing is movies are very, if you've seen any of the movies other than X and Pearl, I feel like her movies are gonna be sex. Like, that's like the movie she does, I guess. But yeah. And then at the end, they all just leave, and then he decides to stay during the rainy seasons, because like the hotel, whatever, closes, and then he just stays during the rainy season. But I would have liked at the end if he wrote like a book on his experience. Like, the beginning is he's trying to find inspiration, so I think I would have liked, like, at the end he would have wrote the book on it, because he did write, you know, like, whatever, and it did like everything, like, he couldn't go back to real life after everything he's been through and everything he's done, which I guess makes sense. I just think the movie was okay. I don't know, I think I give it a 7 out of 10 and a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I guess right now I don't want to like repeat myself. I feel like that's what I'm doing, but I love Mia Goth. She's freaking stunning. Like, I'm really good actress. I feel like Mia and Jenna Ortega are becoming my favorite, like, scream queens or whatever. But yeah, if you want this movie for $14, I think it might still be in theaters. I don't know. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if any other movies that came out this year that you want me to, if there's any movies that you want me to review, then happily. It doesn't have to come out this year. It could have been like a movie that came out in 2010, but if you want me to do like a whole review on it, I will. But hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week.